I've been turning wrenches for 22 years, and in that time, I've seen engines that were supposed to be bulletproof grenade themselves at 60,000 miles. I've also seen engines that nobody talks about quietly roll past 300,000 miles on nothing but oil changes and basic maintenance. And here's what I've learned. The engines that go the distance share three things: low internal stress, mechanical simplicity, and a manufacturer that shows durability over horsepower bragging rights. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 hybrid SUV engines that are genuinely, provably engineered to reach 300,000 miles and beyond. Not based on marketing promises, based on independent longevity data covering hundreds of millions of vehicles, real-world owner reports, and the mechanical fundamentals that I look at every single day under the hood. And I want to be straight with you about something before we start. 2 of the 3 engines on this list come from the same manufacturer. I know that might seem like favoritism. It's not. When iCars analyzed almost 400 million vehicles in their 2025 longest-lasting cars study, Toyota and Lexus swept every single position on the longest-lasting hybrids list. Every one. I'm not going to apologize for following the data, and I'm not going to force a less proven engine onto this list just to make the brand diversity look better. That would be doing you a disservice. The engine sitting at number 1 runs a 5th-generation hybrid system that Toyota completely rebuilt from the ground up this year. Lighter, more efficient, more powerful, and built on a foundation that already has hundreds of millions of proven miles behind it. We'll get there. Let's start with number 3. I need you to understand something about this engine before we talk about a single number. The Honda CR-V Hybrid does not have a conventional transmission. There is no gearbox. There are no clutch packs wearing out over time. There is no torque converter slowly degrading. Honda's IMMD system, which stands for Intelligent Multi-Mode Drive, uses a completely different architecture than what most people think of when they hear the word hybrid. You have a 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder gasoline engine. You have 2 electric motors. One drives the wheels, the other starts the engine and generates electricity. And the gasoline engine only connects directly to the wheels at highway cruising speeds when it's at peak efficiency. Why does this matter for longevity? Because mechanical simplicity is the single greatest predictor of long-term durability. Every component you eliminate is a component that cannot fail. No traditional transmission means no transmission rebuild at 150,000 miles. No torque converter means no torque converter shutter. No clutch packs mean no clutch pack replacement. Honda removed entire categories of potential failure from this powertrain. RepairPal, which tracks millions of real repair invoices from over 2,000 shops across the United States, gives the Honda CR-V a 4.5 out of 5 reliability rating. That ranks it 2nd out of 26 compact SUVs. The average annual repair cost is just $407, and Honda as a brand ranks number 1 out of 32 car brands on RepairPal's overall reliability rankings. Number 1, out of every brand they track. According to iCars, the Honda CR-V has a 30.3% chance of reaching 200,000 miles during its usable lifespan, based on their analysis of over 300 million data points. The average lifespan is 169,000 miles, or about 13.8 years. Now, those numbers cover the entire CR-V lineup, gas and hybrid combined. Owners and automotive engineers widely regard the 2-liter hybrid powertrain as the more robust option compared to Honda's turbocharged 1.5-liter because it avoids the turbo-related thermal stress and oil dilution issues that can affect the smaller engine over high mileages. Here's where I need to give you the honest mechanics perspective. Honda's IMMD system has been in production since 2013, first appearing in the Accord Hybrid. That's over a decade of refinement. The documented issues on these systems are minor and typically relate to ancillary components, not the core powertrain. Things like the PCU coolant pump at high mileage, the 12-volt auxiliary battery, and occasional EVAP system leaks. There are no widespread issues with the electric motors, the power control unit, or the main hybrid battery in properly maintained vehicles. But here's the con you need to know. Honda's IMMD system uses a specific transmission fluid that must be changed according to the maintenance minder. If you use the wrong fluid or skip the interval, the lockup clutch, the one clutch this system does have for highway cruising, can chatter or fail prematurely. This is a maintenance-sensitive component, and I've seen owners get burned by it because they didn't know. Also, Torque News reported in February 2026 that iCars longevity data shows the CR-V has a 10.6% probability of reaching 250,000 miles, placing it as the lowest-ranked Honda model for extreme longevity compared to the Pilot at 13.1% and Ridgeline at 14.7%. So let's be clear, the CR-V Hybrid can absolutely reach 300,000 miles. Honda's proven it. But getting there requires what the industry calls a severe service maintenance schedule, meaning 5,000-mile oil change intervals rather than the 10,000 the maintenance minder might suggest, especially under high thermal loads. Who should still buy this? If you want the most mechanically simple hybrid powertrain in the compact SUV segment, one where entire categories of common failure points have been engineered out of existence, and you're disciplined about maintenance intervals, the CR-V Hybrid's IMMD system is built to go the distance. RepairPal's data proves that Honda owners visit the shop less often, pay less when they do, and face a lower probability of severe repair than almost any other compact SUV on the road. The Honda CR-V Hybrid earns its spot at number 3 because the engineering philosophy behind this engine is sound. Simplicity wins over time. Honda understood that 20 years ago, and this powertrain is the proof. Now I want to tell you a story, because sometimes a single story tells you more than 1,000 data points. In Bonita Springs, Florida, a man named Mark Miller owned a 2006 Toyota Highlander Hybrid. He drove that vehicle past 1 million miles. 1 million miles. On the original hybrid system. The only thing that finally stopped it wasn't the engine, wasn't the transmission, wasn't the battery. It was Hurricane Ian in September 2022. The storm surge submerged the vehicle. A natural disaster killed what, 17 years and 1 million miles of driving could not. That is not an anecdote I'm using for dramatic effect. That was reported by Top Speed in June 2026, sourced from the owner and the dealership Germain Toyota of Naples that serviced the vehicle throughout its life. Now let me give you the data behind the legend. In the 2025 iCar's longest-lasting hybrid study, which analyzed over 174 million vehicles, the Toyota Highlander Hybrid ranked number 1. Not number 1 among SUVs, number 1 among all hybrid vehicles in existence. It has a 31% chance of lasting over 250,000 miles. That is 3.2 times the average for all hybrids. Let me say that again. The Highlander Hybrid is over 3 times more likely to reach 250,000 miles than the average hybrid vehicle on the road. And the updated iCar's data tells an even more compelling story. The Highlander Hybrid now shows a 42.9% chance of reaching at least 200,000 miles. Its average lifespan is 187,995 miles, or about 14.1 years. It earns an 8.2 out of 10 reliability rating from iCars, ranking it second out of 39 most reliable hybrid SUVs. Consumer Reports, based on their survey of approximately 380,000 vehicles, predicts the 2026 Highlander Hybrid will be more reliable than the average new car. This prediction draws from data covering 2023, 2024, and 2025 models. So what makes this engine tick for so long? The Highlander Hybrid runs Toyota's 2.5-liter A25 AFXS engine, which is part of Toyota's Dynamic Force engine family. This is a naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder with a 14:1 compression ratio and one of the highest thermal efficiency ratings in the world at 41%. There is no turbocharger, no supercharger, no forced induction of any kind adding heat and stress to the block. And that is critical for longevity. Every turbocharged engine operates under significantly higher thermal loads than a naturally aspirated one. More heat means more stress on head gaskets, more thermal cycling on turbo seals, more strain on the entire cooling system. The A25 AFXS avoids all of that by design. Toyota chose efficiency through combustion engineering, not boost pressure. The 4th-generation Toyota hybrid system, THS4, pairs this engine with Toyota's planetary gear eCVT, a power split device that has no belts, no chains, and no traditional clutches to wear out. This is the same fundamental architecture Toyota has been refining since the original Prius launched in 1997. That's nearly 3 decades of continuous refinements on the same core design philosophy. Now here's the con, and I want to be straight about it. The 2026 model year is the final year for the current 4th-generation Highlander Hybrid. Toyota is replacing it with a fully electric version. That means parts availability, while excellent now, will eventually taper as Toyota shifts its supply chain. If you're buying a 2026 Highlander Hybrid specifically for 300,000-mile longevity, make sure you plan for the long game on parts sourcing as the production line winds down. Also, the engine is not without quirks at high mileage. CarBuzz reported in June 2026 that the A25 AFXS develops a distinct ticking noise from the high-pressure fuel pump in the D4S injection system at higher mileages. This is frequently misdiagnosed as valve tap or lifter failure. It's not. It has zero impact on mechanical integrity. but it can lead to unnecessary and expensive diagnostic work if your mechanic isn't familiar with it. Additionally, the EGR system on the A25 AFXS will likely need attention around 80,000 miles. The exhaust gas recirculation valve gets clogged, and the EGR cooling system can develop coolant leaks. It's not catastrophic, it's not prohibitively expensive, but it's a known maintenance item that you should budget for. Who should still buy this? If you need a 3-row hybrid SUV and your priority is a powertrain with the single strongest longevity track record in the entire hybrid vehicle market, documented by independent data across hundreds of millions of vehicles, the Highlander hybrid with THS4 is as close to a sure thing as exists in the automotive world. 1 million miles. That's the proof of concept. Everything else is just confirmation. Here's the question I get asked more than any other in my shop. Can you build an engine that's more powerful, more efficient, and still last as long as the one it replaced? Most of the time, the honest answer is no. More power means more stress. More efficiency usually means tighter tolerances, and tighter tolerances usually mean less room for error over hundreds of thousands of miles. Toyota just answered that question with the 2026 RAV4 Hybrid, and the answer changes the math for every compact SUV buyer in the market. The 2026 RAV4 Hybrid runs Toyota's brand new 5th-generation hybrid system. Same engine family as the Highlander Hybrid at number 2. Same A25 AFX S-Block. Same Atkinson cycle. Same 14:1 compression ratio. Same naturally aspirated, zero-turbo, zero-forced induction design philosophy that has been the backbone of Toyota's reliability reputation for decades. But what Toyota did to the components around that engine is a genuine engineering leap. And I need to walk you through it because the details matter if you're planning to keep this vehicle for 300,000 miles. The electric motor in the 5th-generation system is a high-speed, permanent magnet synchronous type with a 32% increase in power output over the 4th-generation unit. That's not a small incremental improvement. That's a fundamental redesign of the magnetic circuit and materials. The motor is physically smaller, yet significantly more powerful. More power from a smaller, lighter component means less mechanical stress per unit of output, which is exactly what you want for long-term durability. The battery pack moved from nickel metal hydride to lithium-ion, resulting in a 44% weight reduction while storing more energy. Lithium-ion batteries are not just lighter, they handle charge and discharge cycles more efficiently and with less heat generation. Toyota backs this battery with a 10-year, 150,000-mile warranty from model year 2020 onward, which applies nationwide, not just in California or CARB states. That warranty tells you exactly how much confidence Toyota has in this component's longevity. The power control unit shows a 10% reduction in energy loss. That means less heat being generated in the power electronics, which is one of the silent killers of hybrid component longevity at extreme mileages. The result on paper? 226 horsepower in front-wheel drive, 236 horsepower in all-wheel drive, up from 219 in the previous generation. 44 miles per gallon combined in front-wheel drive. That beats the Honda CR-V Hybrid's 40 combined and the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid's 38 combined. It is the most fuel-efficient, non-plug-in compact SUV you can buy right now, according to EPA ratings. Now, why does fuel economy matter for longevity? Because an engine that works less hard per mile accumulates less wear per mile. A more efficient hybrid system keeps the gasoline engine off more often in city driving, reduces the number of combustion cycles over the life of the vehicle, and allows the electric motors to shoulder more of the load in the driving conditions that create the most wear. Stop-and-go traffic, cold starts, low-speed operation. RepairPal gives the Toyota RAV4 a 4.5 out of 5 reliability rating, ranking it 3rd out of 26 compact SUVs. Average annual repair cost is $429, compared to a class average of $521. RAV4 owners average just 0.3 unscheduled repair visits per year, compared to 1.0 for the segment average. The iSeeCars data shows the RAV4 has a 30% chance of reaching 200,000 miles, with an average lifespan of 170,839 miles. And here's why those numbers actually understate what the 2026 model is likely to achieve. That longevity data is based primarily on the 4th generation and 5th generation RAV4, vehicles that used older hybrid systems. The 6th generation 2026 model runs the 5th generation THS with meaningfully improved components across the board. If the previous system already delivered a 30% chance of 200,000 miles, the engineering improvements in the new system should extend that curve further. Car Lifespan Check projects the RAV4 hybrid can reach 250,000 to 320,000 miles based on platform data. And the core hybrid system architecture, refined since the original Prius in 1997, has documented examples of Toyota hybrid batteries lasting 300 to 400,000 miles in high-mileage taxi applications. That is not theory. That is documented operational history. Now here's the honest mechanic's warning. The 2026 RAV4 is a first model year vehicle on a new generation. I've been doing this long enough to know that first-year models, even from Toyota, can have teething issues that get ironed out in the second and third production years. Forum users on RAV4 World are already recommending that risk-averse buyers consider waiting for the second model year, and historically, that's sound advice. Also, NHTSA data shows that Toyota's larger twin-turbo V6, the V35 AFTS used in other models, has had documented main bearing failures from machining debris. The A25 AFXS hybrid engine has a clean safety record with 0 major powertrain complaints, according to CarBuzz in June 2026. But I mentioned the 5.6 issue because it reminds you that even Toyota is not immune to manufacturing quality control problems. Stay vigilant with your maintenance regardless of the badge on the hood. One more thing. Demand for the 2026 RAV4 is extremely high. Some dealers are adding $2,000 to $3,000 in market adjustments above MSRP. Toyota has acknowledged that inventory has been a challenge. The sticker price of $33,350 is outstanding value. Anything above sticker is not. Do not pay over MSRP. Inventory will normalize. The deal will be there. So there you have it. 3 hybrid SUV engines genuinely engineered to reach 300,000 miles. Not because of marketing claims, because of independent data, real-world mechanical fundamentals, and decades of proven operation. The Honda CR-V Hybrid. At number 3, because its IMMD 2-motor system eliminated entire categories of mechanical failure through radical simplicity. No gearbox, no torque converter, no clutch packs. RepairPal's #1 ranked brand, with $407 a year in average repair costs. The Toyota Highlander Hybrid at number 2, because it earned the #1 spot on iCar's longest-lasting hybrids list, with a 42.9% chance of reaching 200,000 miles, and a real-world documented example of 1,000,000 miles on the original hybrid system. And the 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid at number 1. Because Toyota took the most proven hybrid architecture in history, rebuilt it from the ground up with a 32% more powerful motor, a 44% lighter battery, and 10% less energy loss in the power electronics, made it the most efficient non-plug-in compact SUV on the market, and somehow charged $950 less than the model it replaced. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you planning to keep your hybrid SUV past 200,000 miles? Have you already crossed that threshold? Drop your mileage in the comments. I read every single one, and some of the most useful ownership wisdom on this channel comes from people who have actually lived with these powertrains over the long haul.